me and you tend to do that. We tend to put a bit too much pressure on ourselves.
You know,
a lot of women do. It's a female trait. We tend to assume that because we're freaking out and we're in our headspace and feelings, we assume the other person realizes. This is in relationships, in friendships.
Especially with text messaging.
Something we've touched upon in the past is that women often don't support women. And it's really hard to find female friendships nowadays, and women tend to envy each other.
Even if you don't love women, or in that, I don't know, maybe you have something in your brain, at least respect, you know, the person. And I really believe that we should respect everyone.
In business, in work, in life, you're going to have little obstacles. You're going to have technical difficulties. You're going to have issues. You need to be able to ignore it, avoid it, work through it, fight through it. And that's what stood out to me.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Olivia. I brought a little guest to the studio today.
Yeah. Oh my God. For whoever does not see here, because maybe I don't know, a lot of you watches YouTube, Maria brought her little Simba.
My son.
Simba is the cutest little dog I've ever seen. He's just, wow, he's so calm.
Yeah, he's well behaved. He's trained.
And what kind of breed is he?
He's a toy poodle.
So cute.
I'm actually allergic to dogs.
Oh, that's why you bought also a toy poodle, because they are
hypoallergenic. It's one of the few breeds that are hypoallergenic and they don't shed.
Oh, okay. I thought you said shit. They don't shit.
No, they shit plenty. But they don't shed. Their hair doesn't come out. They have like human hair. So it was the perfect breed for me. And also I had a poodle when I was younger who sadly passed away.
Yeah.
But he passed away after I got Simba. And he was getting old, so I wanted another dog as well, so that he can keep him a bit of company as well. And yeah, it was the best decision.
Oh, he just looks at me.
Best decision. Yeah.
Wow. It's his first podcast appearance.
It's his first. He's been on shoots.
Oh, okay.
He's been on set. He's been on campaign shoots ever since he was a baby, but he's never been in a podcast studio.
Oh, so adorable. Does he grow even bigger? No, he's
3 years old.
Okay, so this is his size.
Fully grown.
He's so tiny.
He's 3.2 kilos.
Oh. Okay, if he wants to come here, I'm completely open for it. You know,
he might eventually.
He's very welcome to sit on my lap.
Let's see what he does. Oh, there you go.
I cannot believe it. He knocked his head on the microphone. I cannot believe that he actually, I only did one little movement and he came. Wow, that is adorable.
He felt you wanted him.
He's licking my arm now and everywhere. But, I read somewhere about dogs, how we don't deserve them because they're licking away our bacteria. It's they're making us clean when they lick us. Is that true?
I don't know about that part, but we definitely do not deserve dogs. Yeah. Oh my God. Recently, I was watching a video of this dog that fought a bear to save his owner and passed away. And oh my God, the one thing that can make me cry like nothing is dog videos.
Yeah.
Anything to do with dogs. Dogs movies, dog videos. I have a certain soft spot for animals and I will sit and cry for half an hour.
Yeah, of course. You're already getting tearful.
Yeah. And I've talked about this so many times since it happened and I'm just like...
Yeah, no, but I feel you on that. I'm the same when I see videos on YouTube or any video.
Someone's walking in. Look at him.
He's preparing. He's stood on all his four now.
Yeah.
Like a Simba.
Getting ready to bark.
Literally like Simba, like Lion King, the way he stands now.
Yeah.
Oh, Simba.
Like Lion King.
Oh, he jumps down back to Maria.
So yeah, I just think that dogs offer you the kind of love that humans can never. It's a purer love than the love of a mother. Yeah. They will die for you. They will live for you. They will do everything for you. They just love you. And if you think about it, a dog is 10, maybe 15, if you're lucky, more years of your life, but you're their whole life.
Yeah.
And they sit at home and they wait for you and they're so happy to see you every single time you walk through the door.
Yeah.
Without fault. Even when they're having a bad day, they don't have a bad day. They're just excited to see you and be around you.
Unconditional love.
Literally.
I remember you said in an episode a while back when you said that you will do anything for your dog, the way that they would do anything for the kid.
I will burn cities.
And the way you did
for you.
The way you did it with your hands was just so iconic. Yeah. I will burn cities for you.
Cities for you. I will let everyone die for you, my love.
Well, we didn't introduce a podcast, so if you just randomly stumble upon our podcast now, you have no idea what you're listening to. This is Ice Latte Girls podcast. We're like episode, like, I don't know, 4, 8, 12, 16. Like
we're quite a while in.
What, 5 months in, girl?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild. And actually, now that we're 5 months in, something cool happened recently, this weekend actually. As Ice Latte Girls, we co-hosted the Women in Business Conference, Women in Business and Beyond Conference at the Carib Mill in Limassol by Unity Growth.
Yeah, we did.
That was a cool experience.
We're gonna say all about it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like usually I would not be in Cyprus by now. Like it's July, but they reached out to us and they even paid my ticket to come.
Yeah, they flew you out.
That was lit.
Yeah, so it was quite a cool milestone for the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Because we were there as Ice Latte Girls, not just Maria and Olivia. So it was very cool.
It was cool. You know, also that was the first time that anyone ever booked a ticket. When I say anyone, I mean like a business, business related, to fly me to Cyprus. So that's also
normally
the
they have flown you out for influencer trips.
Yes, but not like to come back to Cyprus because I'm building abroad now for a few years. So that was also really cool too. Yeah. Because then now we're meeting here. Now we can film another episode while I'm here in Cyprus. And yeah, that's in...
Yeah, we're making the most of it.
We're making the most out of it. So Maria, since the conference, maybe people who do not know exactly about it, let's go from the beginning. Like before we actually went to the conference, how did you feel up to the leading of the conference? Like what were your emotions, let's say?
Oh my God, I was so excited. I love hosting jobs and I haven't done many because it's quite different. And when they reached out to us, the goals of the conference and the name of the conference, it speaks for itself. The fact that it's a female-centric and it's the largest and the first in the region, in Cyprus. So it was super, I don't know, I was just starstruck that we get to be a part of something like that, so in line with us.
Starstruck of ourselves.
Yeah. No, I was just starstruck by the idea. And I was very excited. I was a little bit nervous because obviously it's something really different for us. And when you film in a studio, you have room for mistakes. And when you can, I don't know, it's just we have developed a comfort zone in front of the camera. And whereas when you're live in person on stage in front of so many people and you also don't have room for mistakes and
it's live and it's whatever's happening there, you cannot redo it.
Also, because I had to go on live TV before the conference, it was just an extra build up for me. You couldn't come with me because you were abroad still.
Obviously. And how was that first? Because that was the first time ever you went on live TV, right?
I have been on live TV from the comfort of my own home.
Okay, but not like to go into a studio and see the cameras, the lights, the team there.
Yeah, and I've filmed so many times. I've seen cameras so many times in my life and I've been on TV stations and all that, but it's really different to be on live. And okay, I was really lucky. Everyone there was lovely and wonderful and the host was wonderful and helpful. But I was also nervous about the Greek because obviously my Greek is quite fluent, but there's
you speak really good Greek, huh?
Yeah, but obviously it's not as rich as my English vocabulary.
No,
so
of course not. But still, I mean, you didn't seeing the clip. You did an incredible job. Yeah. I would never.
I froze actually.
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, when did she freeze? Because before I watched it, you said, yeah, I'm not really I froze there, and I didn't know really what to say. And I'm like, how? I did not notice. I
had a bit of a mental block. I obviously worked through it very well and I was very, very proud of myself. But in the moment, basically what freaked me out a lot was there was a lot of cameras. And then right next to one of the cameras, there was a screen and I could see myself. And I was like, wait, what? And I would turn and it would turn and I would turn and it would turn. And I was like, oh.
And it's always like a few milliseconds a little bit late also. So it's you see it. It's really cool.
So it was bizarre. So it was a very unique first experience. I'm really happy that it was related to such a cool project as well. And with such a cool message. And we're all about women. We're all about women supporting women. We're all about giving room to women in the business industries in general, and uplifting women to know that they can achieve anything they want. So it was just,
But coming back to, for example, like how you experienced it. So like this, you said you have hosted like things like this before, but this was
of a smaller scale.
And when it was like coming up to that, how did you expect it to be? And don't tell me like how it was, because that we're going to come after. Like, how did you expect it to be before we actually entered there?
To be honest, I tried not to think about it too much, not to freak myself out. I was just like, I was expecting a lot of ladies, a conference, a stage, to talk. I was a bit worried about what we were going to say and when, and the schedule and all of that. But I tried not to think, and we were together the day earlier and 2 days earlier, and we were talking about it. And I think both of us were trying not to think about it too much.
Yeah.
And to just go on the spot and enjoy it. Yeah, so I didn't really analyze it in my head.
No.
Which I think helped.
Yeah, I think that was good in the end. Me, in how I felt upon the conference, honestly, because this was the first time I'm going to do something like that. I've been on stage before. I have talked in public before, but not for somebody else. It was always about me. Oh my God, that sounds so narcissistic.
No, it's not.
I only
it's
went
the
on
truth.
stage to talk about me.
Myself and I.
No, but honestly, like I was extremely nervous, like, because I knew what to expect, because, as I said, the combination of the two, I've done it before, but not in a scenario where I will have a script. I will have I need to present people on stage. Like, I was like, oh, what did I get myself into? Like, I started to regret it, you know, like, fuck, what?
And it's a big burden carrying something of such importance. Yeah,
man. Like, the fact that we had the responsibility to like, kind of like entertain the audience in some way, but also not. And I also like had this idea in my head, like, I don't want to be like just reading on yeah, this and this and this. See this person gonna come up and just be like, you know, the whole time like that. So I also put like a little bit of a pressure on me before going there, without actually like knowing really what to expect really. So it was very confusing. But
me and you tend to do that. We tend to put a bit too much pressure on ourselves.
You know,
a lot of women do. It's a female trait.
Yeah.
And they talked about it in the conference. One of the ladies that was Simba switching.
Oh, you want to come to me now? You, for example, have been working in like corporate jobs, I would say. You know a little bit the environment. You know a little bit, for example, something as small, which people might not think about. What the heck are you going to wear? Man, I think that was maybe the biggest stress factor for me than actual presenting. Like, what are you going to wear to your event?
And you don't have clothes like that.
Girl, I have like almost nothing. Like, I was lucky I had one set that I had bought to go to Dubai, like a suit pants thing, but heels, like, basically shoes and clothes. So I was texting you the whole time. What are you going to wear? What kind of shoes are you going to wear?
And I had no idea. I just left it for the last minute. I decided that morning. I opened my closet and I was like,
This is something that I'm a little bit annoyed with you. Not annoyed, but you could have helped me a little bit more. Like,
I told you I'm going to wear a pantsuit and I'm going to wear heels or loafers.
That was after I asked you plenty of times. Like, you could have like, calmed me down a little bit.
I didn't realize you were that stressed.
Girl, I'm always stressed about what to wear.
I didn't realize. You just asked me like, what are you going to wear, by the way? I don't know what to wear. And you didn't tell me.
And I texted you like a lot of like, what shoes? If you go back to our
and I responded. You never said I'm freaking out. I don't know what to wear. Then I would have given it more attention.
If I asked you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
But this is assumptions,
you know
of course.
What? You need to stop assuming that people know what you're thinking and going through. Okay. Like, if you're freaking out, how am I supposed to know through the phone, through 3 messages that you're freaking out?
Well, I know. I'm not saying I was actual freaking out.
No, but I'm giving you life advice for yourself right now.
Girl, speak about yourself. Also here, we cannot
we
cannot make assumptions, okay?
We tend to assume that because we're freaking out and we're in our headspace and feelings, we assume the other person realizes. This is in relationships and friendships.
Especially with text messaging. I hate text messaging because you, for example, as I said before,
I'm dry.
You don't put a freaking emoji. I have no idea how to interpret your message. So it's incredibly hard.
Yeah, I annoy everyone. And actually, I have this thing that I respond Usually when I'm texting, I'm on the go. So I think when someone sends me a lot of messages sometimes and they're saying something and I go to agree with them, I say fair enough or fair.
Yeah. Like,
and to me,
plain like that.
To me, that's like, yeah, fair enough. I get you. But it's like a concise way to give a good reaction to me in my head.
That's insane.
And Diana sometimes, like when she texts me like a paragraph, she's like, do not fucking say fair.
You know, I'm going to speak with Diana just so we can like vent about this.
But because she knows if it was someone else texting her, like fair enough and bless. That's the other thing I use. Fair enough and bless. And if it's someone else, they think that it's like a xenerodot, like a dry response. But it's not. It's me being like, yeah, cool, fair enough. And it just doesn't come across that way, I realized. But I just hate texting, man. Usually I'm driving and on the go. I can't
respond with a voice memo when you have time instead. I prefer that. Like a voice memo, I can completely understand.
You know what the problem with that is? If I don't respond the moment I see it, I will very likely forget about it. Does that not happen to you? And then I will go to text the person like 2 days later and I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot that message.
But then I would say I forgot to respond. And then, okay, no strings attached.
Yeah, but if I'm constantly forgetting to respond, you're not going to like that either. You're going to prefer that fair.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I do prefer that fair. Because for example, I put in all this effort to write you this and this and this. And then I get like something, okay, cool. I'm like, or like, okay, cool. It could be, okay, cool. Or, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Like which of these like 3 versions am I gonna, give on?
So how about this? When you have something big, call me. I always respond.
Yeah, but it's something as, for example, coming back to the clothing thing, it's not that big to be like, what kind of shoes are you gonna wear? Like I would never call you to ask what kind of shoes are you gonna wear, just to call for that. I'm not that kind of person. I prefer, I don't know yet. I'm thinking of going for like loafers or heels.
That's what I said.
Yeah, after many times I asked. Then I would be like, okay, she's going to go for loafers and heels. But then I also want to know, what kind of heels are appropriate to wear, to this kind of event? Can I wear like open toes? Or do they have to be closed? Girl, I have no idea what to wear to any of like little bit businessy events.
To be honest,
like I'm a whimsy influencer who takes photos of like cute outfits, not something that's appropriate for like serious woman.
To be completely honest with you though, especially with conferences, I feel like I didn't give it as much importance as you did. My dog is just exploring the studio. I didn't give it as much importance as you because I know that I've been to conferences as well. And I know that it's not that big of a deal. And nowadays fashion has become more expressive and experimenting. And at the end of the day, back in the day, you shouldn't wear open toes to something like this. But now you can. It's fine. So it's not a big deal. You can also wear sneakers as long as they're nice sneakers.
As a oh my God, I get so distracted by Simba. He's just so cute. His little back, like I see his tail just wiggling. Oh, okay. So basically what I've learned now from this conference is that I can wear what the heck I want, because I saw in the audience, if it come to the conference now, there were people wearing like glittery stuff, sequin. They were wearing colorful clothes, like pink outfit, like bright pink outfits. And when we were standing on stage, I was like, what the heck? I could have gone all in on this.
Yeah, you could have. To be honest, I feel like it's a lot more free nowadays.
That's nice. Okay. Closing down the clothing chapter. In the end, I wear pointy heels. But he doesn't, Simba doesn't really bite anything, does he?
No, not really.
So why can't he not just go along? Will he poop and pee anywhere?
He might pee now because he's in a new space, even though I walked him before walking in. He might pee to leave a scent. Dogs sometimes
to claim his territory.
Especially because sometimes, Andreas told me that sometimes there's dogs in the studio.
Oh.
Sometimes people bring their pets, like me. Rarely, he makes an exception. Whoa. See, he doesn't like men.
Whoa.
Especially men approaching me.
Amazing. It's like, Simba, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you don't look very scary.
You know what else? If anyone from my family walks into my room while I'm sleeping, he barks at them.
Wow.
He stands on my bed and he's like, "Arr." And my family gets really annoyed. They're like, we feed you. We take care of you as well. He doesn't like anyone approaching me. And he gets really jealous. Like if you were to hug me right now, oof.
Okay, we have to try that later on after the episode.
You're going to laugh.
That's
hilarious. He freaks out. He's really jealous.
Put it on the phone also so we can film it.
He's possessive.
Maybe he was like an ex of yours, something in a previous life.
Well, he matches all my exes. And they're jealousy vibes. So I forgot what we were saying.
Yeah, we were closing the chapter on the clothing. And now we can go maybe to the actual conference.
So how was your experience?
Yeah, how was my actual experience? Honestly, it went, like, first of all, the exact beginning when we went up on stage together, you and I, it's a blur. I don't remember what we said. We were welcoming the people. I think I said even good morning. And then gone. I don't remember anything else. You said something about Ice Latte Girls, and I don't remember.
I plugged the podcast.
Yeah, you did. I saw it. That was good. But I honestly don't even.
I plugged it on TV as well.
Yeah, I saw that. That was lit.
I mean, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
You got to promote our podcast so more people can see it. But I honestly have no idea what you said about the podcast. So whatever you said good, you know?
Cool.
Yeah, cool. At least you mentioned it. No, but regardless of that, like, I thought that we were gonna go switch like the whole time. Mm-hmm. But in the end, we were also like, I'm happy that I could also follow and see the panels and follow and see the speakers. I listened to the speakers. And it was really, to be honest, I expected, like, it was better than I expected, to be honest. And so the experience from the presenting part, for me, as I said, it was the first time ever I did something like that. I think it went really good for the first time experience.
Yeah, it was a very nice introduction for us.
Yes.
It was honestly like we could not have asked for a better first experience.
Mm-hmm. I think we were really lucky in that sense.
And also, to be fair, everyone from Unity Growth organizing the event was wonderful.
Yeah, man.
And helpful.
Jesse and Andreas, like, they were so kind to us. They were very, like, supportive. They were, like, not giving us stress.
No pressure.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. And they were like, just be yourselves. Just have fun. Relax. It's cool. And I really appreciated that, because I think if we had someone on top of us putting, you have to say this and you have to do this and you have to do that, we would have freaked.
We would have freaked out. I would not be able to sleep for a week, even more than I could have not even away. So I think that was really helpful. They were really chill. I would not say chill, like they were really busy, but they were on us. They were just so kind, you know, they were guiding us in that sense. That was nice. And how was it for you?
Well, the beginning was a bit of a blur. I blanked a bit. And then I just really had fun with it. I really enjoyed listening to the panels and the speeches. There were some really inspiring ladies on stage. And a lot of what...
I stalked them all, like
really?
The night after, to see like all like on Instagram. Who are they?
They have some impressive resumes. So it was so cool introducing all these ladies, getting to know all these ladies, listening to what they have to say. And I felt so inspired. And then I was excited to go on stage and introduce the next person. And I was happy that I got to be a part of something like this. So I was really trying to enjoy it. I mean, a lot of the moments I was a bit all over the place because there was a lot going on. But I think I really made the most of it in terms of like having fun with it. And obviously there was so much we could say and add our own touch, because at the end of the day, you're there for a purpose, to present, to say certain things. But I really did, you know, add a bit of my own signature to it. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm very proud and I'm very humbled.
That's good, man. Like, you did some improv, you know, like.
Yeah, so did you.
Yeah, I did also, but I was also like, fuck, what am I saying now? Like in my head, I'm like, wait, I'm going off topic now? Is it like within?
To be honest, it's just like what we were saying about my interview and what us on stage. What is he digging? Digging for gold, baby. We're going to be constantly distracted by my dog. I'm really sorry. So sometimes the way you feel about situations or the way you think and overanalyze a situation, like me on TV briefly blanking out or us on stage blanking out for the beginning, it's not something anyone else sees.
No.
It's just
in our heads.
you.
Yeah.
And also the expectations you set on yourself sometimes are ridiculous and they put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you should, obviously it's easier said than done, but you should try to limit that and try to control it. And if you know, I loved that part when you went on stage and you're like, guys, let's take a moment to take a breath in. What Tia taught you?
Yeah, and you know, this is funny that you're saying it, because my critical brain, after that, I was like, fuck, I should have said this instead. I want to say, breathe in for 4 counts, hold it 4 counts like before. So even like after effect, we become critical, or like, shit, I should have said it differently.
Yeah.
That's also crazy. But yeah, continue, please.
But it was just really, I forgot my train of thought. It was just really nice and really cool. And at the end of the day, I think when you take that moment to take those 4 breaths in, hold, breathe out, and you really like ground yourself for a moment and you stop, there was another lady on stage that was telling us some tricks to calm your brain. And really, when you calm yourself down for a split second, it's not going to work always. And it's not going to work fully sometimes, but you got to cut yourself some slack and give it some time and just not overthink.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, yes, you could have done certain things better next time.
Yeah. Did you breathe in also then? Did you do it?
No, I was too stressed.
Because I did, girl.
I tried.
I felt the tension go away.
And then I kept looking around and I was like, oh.
Now, honestly, because for what Galatia said in the guest episode, and we did it also here in the chairs, girl, I felt like tingling sensation in my arms when we did that. So I need to remember to do it more often, because it really helps to just take a deep breath, hold it 4 counts and out for 4 counts. It's incredible.
One thing I think we were both really stressed about was butchering people's names.
Yeah. But I think we handled pretty good.
We did pretty okay.
Yeah, but not only that, we even said on stage, like, I hope we're pronouncing correct, or how does you pronounce?
Of course.
I think that kind of interaction, it also shows respect, at least in my view, when instead of just like going and then you say completely wrong without like having like, oh, did I say it correct? Didn't I? Like, I think we cannot expect to just be able to.
I never expect people to pronounce my last name correctly.
Man.
It's fine.
No, it's true. And yours
and even on TV, like they introduced me as Gojkovicc.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I'm like, yes, it's me. I'm Nole's cousin.
I was like, no, it's Gojkovicc.
I'm Nole's sister, you know? Yeah, me, hi.
You wish,
Gojkovicc family. I'm a distant relative.
There is something.
So I don't mind at all. Like it happens. It's fine. And we can't expect everyone to know our foreign surnames and names. It's fine.
Do you have any, what was your highlight? Like, what was that you thought was like, oh, nice.
So before we went on stage for the first time, the stage was a big stage. And I turned around and I went to you. I was like, babes, getting up on stage, either me or you is going to trip. Guaranteed. Man, when you tripped.
Wait a minute.
I was dying. I was crying from laughter. And then you turned back and you looked at me. So I started laughing even more. You didn't actually fall. You just tripped and you saved it and you made it a funny moment.
I stumbled. I almost did a face plant, but because I'm so used to almost doing face plants, I know how to like balance myself to not fall completely.
Man, that was one of the highlights for me. It sounds ridiculous.
Yes, but that you find a highlight of me almost tripping. But also, to be honest, that was also my highlight. But you know what?
It was so funny. So
regardless of you finding it funny, you know what I found cool with when the moment I tripped, is that I think I handled it really good.
You did? And what did I turn on? I was like, Opa!
Yeah, and I even pointed at you. I was like, Maria, we literally just talked about this before. Yeah. And at least I'm the one.
No, and the audience was so supportive about it. They were so
even
cute.
Clapping at some point. You know that was really cool. Like, that's exactly what kind of audience you want to have. Someone who would not be like, ha ha ha, oh my God, she fell. They were more like, whoa, yeah.
You know, I also wasn't like, ha ha ha, oh my God, she almost fell.
No, but
I was like, ha ha ha, we just discussed this. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, because it was like an internal thing, you know.
And also, I mean, if you had actually fallen, no, I would have still laughed.
I would have laughed also, but most probably...
I would have laughed. I would have laughed even more. I would have fallen and laughed with you.
Yeah, you know, if I would have fallen, I think it would be the same to be honest, because I fell. But it doesn't happen that often that I actually fall. Like
me too. I just tend to trip.
Yeah, same. And also in my own defense, I was wearing like very pointy shoes and I just a little bit... I walk like I'm sliding. So I didn't really take a big step to go on stage and just... Whoop,
obviously, that was a bit of a joke, though. It wasn't one of my highlights. My actual highlight,
it was. Don't lie.
No, it was one of the standout moments. But one of my highlight for sure was how many like CEOs and business ladies and incredible founders of companies and entrepreneurs and honestly like very inspiring ladies came up to us to tell us what an amazing job we did. And no one believed us. It was our first time.
You know, I almost did not believe that. I'm like, oh, they're just saying that just to be like
No, some people I could see their genuine shock.
Yeah.
Also, because you wouldn't assume that someone hosting is doing it for the first time.
That's you not understand how critical I am in my brain, man. Because I'm like, that was not my greatest thing ever, but it is room for improvement. So having that confirmation,
always. Even if you've done it 100 times, there's room for improvement. And if you think that there's no room for improvement in any aspect of your life, you have an issue.
Yeah, and also to be honest, I think that because we have, for example, podcasts. We've been doing social media for years. It's not like we're doing something for something at all to be in the public of the eye, and then suddenly we're on stage. I can imagine that if we compare with someone else who's never held a microphone, who's never been in contact with people because they come up to you to, admire your work, for example, then I can imagine the experience would be different. So I think we had a little bit of a head, what's it called?
A little bit of a push.
Exactly, yeah.
And a big standout moment for me was when there was a panel on stage and they were discussing various topics. Monica Ioannidou, who's like a very inspiring lady, she turned around and she was talking about something and she was like, by the way, girls, I listened to your podcast and I love what you're doing on stage during a panel.
Yeah.
And she connected what she was saying to some stuff we say on the podcast.
Incredible.
That was a very pinch me moment for me because sometimes we don't realize who listens.
Yeah.
And we've had situations where people come up to us that they listen and everything, but it was very impressive to me that a CEO
listening to us.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You know, that moment when that
our
happened.
silly little podcast.
Yeah, like our silly little podcast that we talk about nonsense. No. But you know that moment when it happened, like this is my version of it.
You weren't there. You were turned around getting something.
I went to my bag that was like tucked in the corner where the computers were to put on lip gloss. So I was like, oh shoot, I missed the moment of
no. And she turned around, she's like, Maria, by the way, she pointed at me because I had just introduced them and she was talking to me and I was looking and I was like and I turned around to look at you and you're crouching over a bag. I turned around, I was like, huh? Did someone just talk about the podcast? I was like so confused. Such an Olivia moment.
Yeah, how come I go exactly that moment, put on lip gloss from my bag, and that moment, I mean, not that I would expect that somebody would suddenly mention us, so of course, but that was really cool. Honestly, I was shocked.
Yeah. So we got some amazing feedback in general about the podcast, about our performance and all of that. And just this little bit of validation was very comforting and very nice, especially based on who it was coming from, you know? Man. And we met some listeners, some fans.
That was also so cool.
Yeah. There was people who came for us. We
have fans.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know. Are they fans?
But that's what you call, right? Fans, admirers or something. I mean, think about it.
It feels unreal to use that language.
You and I, we have fans. Like, what the fuck? Who are we? You know, it's incredible.
Why us? It's just weird, but it was so nice interacting and talking to people who listen and keep up and know what we're doing and to tell us like ways it resonated with them or impacted them. It's just very incredible, surreal experience. Yeah. I went to say incredible and surreal and I said incrane. Just Maria things.
New word coming up here in dictionary.
So it was very, very surreal.
It was an incrane in experience. You know, if it doesn't exist, I will actually start using it.
No, don't use it. It sounds really
incrane. It sounds like insane, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not going to use it.
You stand me out moments? Standout moments?
I mean, you honestly just said them. So
yeah.
I mean, for me, it was honestly like for my part, like I'm really proud of myself, the way I handled the way I tripped and also the reaction of the audience. And that I did not feel embarrassed at all.
Me neither.
0% when I fell on stage. Because usually, you know, when you trip in public or like when you do a fashion show and you stumble, you feel like humiliated. Like it's like, ugh. But that moment, 0%. And that was cool to see. Look, of my own self.
Something we've touched upon in the past is that women often don't support women. And it's really hard to find female friendships nowadays. And women tend to envy each other and to compete with each other. But we were at a conference where it's all about women, supporting women creating opportunities for themselves, women growing, women establishing their career and their success. And women were there to teach other women, to share their experiences with each other. So we were in a very female empowered and supportive environment. So the nature of the women that were there would never be happy you tripped and make fun of you.
Exactly. And they went there with intention to actually connect, network. So of course you're not going to connect by being like a bitch, you know?
Exactly. Although there was one little situation of a lady.
Do you want to share what happened? Because I got shocked, I got stunned. So I'm not even sure if I remember it correctly.
Look, I will give her the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about what exactly happened. A lady went, one of my favorite speeches, by the way, was the woman that was on stage in that moment.
Drama unfolding now. Okay.
And one of the ladies, obviously after every speech, after every presentation, there was some time for questions. And one of the ladies goes to get the microphone to ask a question. And she starts her question. I love what you're doing. And, you know, it was about Women Do Business. So an organization that raises funding for women. And she was talking about her experience raising funding for her companies and her hustle and her drive and all of that. So she was like, I love what you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. No. Very cool. Everyone's like, yeah, nice. Then she turns around and she's like, but I want to say something. And I was like, oh. And she's like, there were some technical problems during your presentation. And I'm sorry about that. Because basically her presentation wasn't on full screen. There were some technical issues in that moment with the computer. It happens. And you could see the smaller slides on the side, like it wasn't in full screen.
Yeah, and they had to do it. They had to do it manually from the computer instead of her with the clicker.
They couldn't do it, and the clicker wasn't working properly. There were some issues.
Yeah, technical happens. Yeah,
and she turned around, and she's like, and I want to point out that it's really funny because a man is handling, and she points at one of the organizers.
Yeah, who was the one who made this event happen?
Yeah, and she's like, I want to point out that it's funny. It's a man handling it, and we kind of all giggled. Yeah, it was kind of funny. But then she went on a rant. And she was like, yeah, and as a man, do you see where you are? And you should be here taking us seriously. And you had one job. And I understand that you're probably a volunteer, but I'm sure you're paid to be here. And you need to take it seriously and not saying hello to your friends. And you need to respect this woman's. And she went on a proper rant.
It went worse and worse. And you and I, we were looking at each other. We were like, what
and you were supposed to close that speech. And you look at me
and
you're
like, I cannot go up on stage now. What the heck am I going to say, Maria? You do it.
I was like, oh, honey, I would love to.
My time to shine.
I can't.
Yeah,
in situations like this, I'm the type of person that will stand up for people, whether they're a man or a woman. And this has nothing to do with sex. And at the end of the day, it's interesting because the people organizing it, Unity Growth, the 3 co-founders, are men. Are men that had a lot of questions, and they had a very nice reaction when they organized their first female-oriented event. So they wanted to do something to support women. So usually these events are done by women for women. We had 3 wonderful men creating something wonderful for women, giving us a platform, giving us an opportunity.
Giving us a voice.
And at the end of the day, this is one of the reasons feminism gets a bad rep.
Yeah, man. It's because people like that who just want to place war, men versus women.
So the lady that was on stage, she handled it beautifully. She was like, no, I mean, technical issues happen and it's okay. It's fine. We went through it and it's fine. And I know the guys and I appreciate very much what they do. And they're very, and she gave a nice little speech and she was like, it's not us versus them. And I don't want to we're here for a different purpose. We're not here to be men versus women. And me with feminism, I just ask for equal opportunities and equal rights and equal pay. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the wonderful men in my life. And men have stood in my way and tried to stumble me, but also men have given me opportunities and supported me.
When she said that, I was like, yeah, girl.
I think it's so important.
Yeah, man.
And then I went on stage and I really wanted to make a point to the lady. And I was like, to be completely honest with you, I noticed there was technical difficulties because she turned around when she was saying, she was like, it really bothered me. I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if it bothered you as well. She was really like weird. And I was like, To be honest, it didn't really bother me. And what I found really cool, that was very in line with everything you were saying, how you ignore obstacles, how you saw there was a bit of a technical issue with your presentation and you still nailed it. You completely ignored it. You acted like nothing was happening and you just went through and you did your thing and you nailed it. And I said this to her on stage and she was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I was like, no, but honestly, like in business, in work, in life, you're going to have little obstacles. You're going to have technical difficulties. You're going to have issues. You need to be able to ignore it, avoid it, work through it, fight through it. And that's what stood out to me. Not the fact that a man messed up. He didn't even mess up. He's the one, doing so much work for this. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we need to understand that there's human error, and men and women, we both make mistakes when we're working, and that's fine. And we need to be able to work as a team to navigate through it. And I hate the narrative of men versus women.
No, it's not. We are like compatible. We should collaborate. We should like uplift each other, support each other. So it's really like sad to see that there are so many people out there who like, I hate men. I hate all men. And they literally maybe...
I say that sometimes as a joke.
We say it as a joke. I mean, we have incredible men also around us who also been... We said in a different podcast episode that they have literally opened up doors for us. So we cannot be completely like, no gender. We don't want them. We don't only want ourselves.
I mean... This podcast is a good example. Our producer is a male.
Exactly.
And he helped us so much with this. Exactly. And honestly, like, applause to the men who support us.
Applause.
I've had so many men open doors for me and give me opportunities in life, and not in creepy ways and expecting something in return. I have had men believe in me. And it starts from my father. It starts from my father. I would be nothing without my father. And I have a brother, and I have wonderful men around me. And I'm so lucky for the men I have around me. And at the end of the day, the goal is to educate men to support us.
I think a lot of men don't even know how.
Yeah. And it was very interesting when Hess, who is, like behind the organization, he asked a question at one point to one of the panels. He was like, what can men do to help? And we were like, you're already doing a big thing. You're already doing a very big thing. So at the end of the day, a lot of men don't know what they can be doing. And the beautiful answer by one of the ladies was, just love us.
Yeah. I want to say also, and respect us, love us, because everything comes together. Like, if you could do your own alternation, what would you say?
I would say, be there for us. Love us. Yes,
listen
love us.
Listen to us.
Listen. And hear us. Don't just listen and let it go from one ear to the other. Listen, actually hear us and be there. When we say we need something, be there. Be there for us, help us, support us, and we will do the same. It has to come from both sides.
Yeah, it's a collaboration, man.
And at the end of the day, I think it's really important to teach young boys to love, respect women, and to teach them that, we're different, but we're capable of the same things. Yes, we're different. I will never sit here and say we're the same.
But we're not. We're different.
Not. We're biologically different. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be nurtured to achieve the same things.
Yeah, man. I agree on that. It is sad to see, but also I have hope in that the newer generations are coming, because in the end, it's our responsibility a bit, because when women are the mothers, they are the one who gives birth. So when you get sons, as you said, you really need to make sure to input proper values to your children, So I also wonder,
what would you add? What would you add to that question? What men can do?
Oh, as I said before, honestly, to respect, because I think even if you don't love women, or in that, I don't know, maybe you have something in your brain, at least respect, the person. I think I really believe that we should respect everyone, even that goes regardless of gender and animals and the planet, respect. And of course, what she already said, love. So I don't have anything more additional to add rather than what we already said.
And I think something that's really important that I would like to add is that we are different. So it's important to educate each other about one another.
Yeah, men also need to know about the menstrual cycle. Yeah. It affects them too. They need to know how the birthing process go. They cannot be ignorant about things like that. I'm sorry. You cannot come and say, do you have PMS? As if it's a bad thing. Man, do you know what our bodies go through? So what you're saying, they need to be also educated about the female body, because in the end, not even we are.
Yep.
That's also ridiculous. How can we not learn about, for example, menstrual cycle? I think that is like a topic for another episode, because
100%.
that goes like, I get really triggered. And I don't want to get triggered today, because we have things to do after this.
Yeah, and we have beautiful things to talk about with beautiful messages. So let's not focus on the negative, but let's put a message out there that it's important to teach one another about each other's needs, wants, thought processes. We process emotions differently. We handle situations differently. Women by nature, I mean, some of them we're talking about how they're not, but women are more empathetic. They're bigger empaths, and also women tend to overthink more. Women tend to think differently. Men are more doers. They've also been raised to be that way.
And both is good though, huh? Like,
yes,
if we just collaborate, I need to find a different word than collaborate. If we just work together, then I think beautiful things can happen.
100%. And I think we're on the right path.
Yeah, and to be honest, like what you said, your brother and your dad are like the men in your life. Like me also, Marinos, my uncle, has been my mentor. He's a man. Ramon, for example, the past 4 years.
He's your OG bestie?
My OG bestie, exactly. No, but also like Ramon, for example, I talk to him about like anything also like business related. Like a lot of my ideas stems from him also, because he has inspired me, and he listens to me, and he got to know me. So like, it is not men versus
And sometimes he sits down literally with both of us and is like, oh, I love how you did this and this is, I think this, I think that. And he like gives us ideas, and he's like always giving us like positive feedback and encouragement. And like, even with me, that I'm your friend, like with you, he's your partner. He loves you. It's, but he really is that type of man that will support women. And I think that's so cool.
Yeah, man. He's a good example. I wish everyone could have a person like Ramon in their life.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I was like, I'm not going to mention this episode.
And I have Simba.
He's also
He supports me. He's a little man. Look, boys can be good too. Look at you.
By the way, before we end the episode, because I think we have more time, it's going to be a little bit longer episode. They have been complaining that our episodes have been short, by the way. I haven't told you this.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're a little bit too short. I would want to have them a little bit longer.
I didn't want to bore people. See, this is how we overthink and process sometimes.
Like, who will want to listen to us for an hour?
Yeah.
But I also want to say, I'm going to a different chapter completely. It has nothing to do with what we just talked about. But we also did another thing, you and I. Our first ever staycation.
Oh, we did.
Me and Maria have never been to a place and slept together. Oh, you just done so bad.
That's so bad.
Yeah, no,
we still haven't slept together. And we never will.
Still, the still part freaks me out a little bit. Why do you implement the still part?
I said I never will.
No, good. No, so we stayed in a vineyard, you and I, and that was an experience.
That is such a nice thing to do with your friends or your significant other.
Exactly.
It can also be very romantic. It can also be like such a nice girl trip, even a bigger group of friends.
It was the first time also I ever did wine tasting before.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned in the previous episode that we don't drink really.
You discovered your favorite wine, which fittingly enough, what is it called?
It's called Basilissa, which means in English, queen.
Very fitting.
Yeah, it was like this light yellow color. For example, yeah, we should say that.
You didn't even know that wines, like white wine, comes in different shades.
No, of course. I thought it was just yellow and red. I didn't think of like there are different kind of yellows. I mean, come on. I don't know shit about wine. I know there is red wine and yellow wine. I did not even know that rosé was wine, to be honest. I thought it was like a different breed, like champagne. If champagne is also not from grapes, right? Right? I honestly have no idea, man. I was a vodka drinker in the past, so I don't know anything else.
You were very surprised by all of the things you were saying.
Girl, I learned a lot of things at the wine tasting.
The old man that was giving us a tour, he was so sweet and so cute, so nice. And he knew so much.
We learned the process of wine. I didn't know that they freeze the grapes, before they start, pressing them together. Like they're literally in like -degrees. And
that all the flavor comes from the skin.
Speaking of the flavors, I'm going to sound so dumb, but I take it. I mean, it's all about learning.
Dumb. You just didn't know about wine.
I just didn't know about wine. Thank you. And we can't know everything about everything.
Life.
No, of course. Life's about learning and growing.
Exactly.
So this whole week I've been here in Cyprus, I've been learning a lot.
There you go.
So I did not know that wine is just grapes, like literally only grapes, like nothing else. I thought, for example, let's take rosé wine as an example. It's freaking sweet. It's the only wine that I always like could drink, but because it was so sweet, I counted it as a dessert. So it's like, okay, when am I going to drink it?
You thought it was had the sugar.
I thought it had the sugar inside. I thought it had like flavors or like something. Apparently, it's just the different way of
it's the way it's developed.
Yeah, that
like the amount of time the grapes spend in certain parts of the process, and affect how much sugar is going to be in it, how much of the other flavors from the skin, from the peel are going to be, incorporated into the wine. So it really depends on the process.
Yeah, and that was really cool to learn. I had no idea. Did you know about that?
Yeah. Also, one thing that I knew, but I didn't really fully realize because I've never like tasted the differences. Because again, I'm not really a big drinker at all. I barely ever drink. So when white wine, for example, I prefer white wine because it's lighter. And even white wine, sometimes they leave it in the barrels to mature. And it really tastes heavier when it spends longer in the barrel, and it changes color. And what I didn't realize is that the barrel, based on the wood it's made of, it also infuses its flavor into the wine a little bit. Like it affects the flavor of the wine.
I didn't catch that information. So that's also new for me. I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah.
So we tried one wine that was a white wine that was light and nice, and I really liked it. And then we tried the barreled white wine, and I didn't like it as much because it was too heavy for me. It was too strong.
It looked like strong yellow color also.
So then I understood that the maturing process really affects how I like the wine. It really affects the flavor.
And to be honest, another thing that will make me sound dumb or not to know, whatever, it's that I thought that only red wine was in barrels.
I'm thinking, did I know that? Yeah, I did.
To be honest, I can't say that I did not know a lot at all about wine. So it's like all this information is new.
It's also never been something of interest to us.
No, not at all. So it was a really cool place to stay at in Inoyi. Oh my God, I wasn't about to mispronounce it again. And that they invited us.
And the cottage was so cute.
Beautiful scenery also when you're standing there, like where all the wines are, and you can go down to the vineyards, and we took like nice videos and photos there. We can pretend that we're in Tuscany.
Yes, it's quite a vibe. So I want you to, obviously it was our first staycation together. And obviously with friends, like when you go for coffee and when you actually stay 24/7 with someone, it's quite different. And because we haven't done that before, we didn't know if we'd be fitting to have a staycation or a travel experience together.
And how did you say first?
Well, I started the question.
Okay. You were first with the question. Honestly, I didn't really think about it before coming there. And when I met, I was like, we have never done something like this before. We've never been on a trip abroad. We never spent that many hours together in a circumstance where it's like a little bit like, we were working-ish, but we were also like relaxed, enjoying. Yeah. So it was the first time for that. And I think we did well. I was going to say pretty well, but that sounds like less. I think we did, we matched.
Yeah, we did.
At least how I feel. You have to tell what you feel later. But it was not like, oh no, was not like girl drama, because also we're not really that kind of people. Yeah. So I think it matched.
Also, I think we're both really easygoing. So if you're like, oh, I want to do this, I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to do this. I'm like, okay.
We're not like picky, like, no, I want to go to that place, or no, I want to do this, or no, I have to, we're not that kind of people.
The only people I haven't matched with for that kind of stuff has been difficult people that are like, no, I want to do this. Which, because I'm easygoing, I get along. I can get along with them. But then after a certain point, it gets a little bit annoying because I'm so easygoing. I mean, be a bit easygoing as well,
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's just chilling looking at me now.
So it was really nice.
Would you go on a trip with me?
Yeah, 100%. Would you go on a trip with me?
I have to think about it. Okay, I thought about it, and I say yes.
I want you to talk about how I sleep.
Girl, oh my God, this girl here, Maria, she sleeps like a dead person. Girl, you don't...
knock on wood.
Oh my God, goodness. She literally because obviously I went to bed later than her because I was stuck reading a book. And Maria was turning her, so her back was towards me. So I didn't see her, but I thought that you were on your phone because I saw light. And then at some point, 20 minutes in, she was like, it was like complete quiet. I didn't hear her like, reacting to something she was doing on her phone or something because the light was on. So what is she doing? I let it go because I was so sucked in. And suddenly I was going to go to the toilet. And that was like an hour and a half after. You were still lying on the exact same spot. The phone was still lit, by the way. I don't know why you didn't close the phone. And you were just sleeping. Like literally like Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. You were like gone.
I didn't move for the whole night.
No, I don't.
I stayed in the same position.
I think you even woke up in the same position. No, like that was incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you even dream?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't always remember my dreams, but I dream. Yeah.
That was so fascinating because I thought that I was like a heavy sleeper, but girl, you took it to the next level.
To be completely honest with you, I have a hard time falling asleep often. But once I fall asleep, I'm a heavy sleep. I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Come on, we also drank wine.
Yeah, but so I fell asleep really easily.
Yes.
But in general, like sometimes I struggle to fall asleep. But once I fall asleep, I don't move much. Sometimes when I'm really tired, I sleep talk and I laugh in my sleep. My partners have told me, and Diana told me, because I have had a staycation with Diana a few times. So sometimes I talk.
Girl, I just remember when you slept. We had one little, but it was not a planned staycation. You just slept at my place for our first podcast filming.
Yeah.
That happened in March. And you spoke. Remember? I told you that
you
day after.
You told me, but I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was you said, but I remember now that you did talk literally.
And apparently sometimes I laugh. So clearly I'm a very happy person. It was like a normal
sentence you said. And I was like, huh? Like, I think you even asked me something. And I literally remember, man, fuck. It was really good. So I can confirm for that also.
I don't remember. I don't know what you're like to sleep next to because I was passed out, so I don't remember. Yes, of course not. But clearly you didn't bother me, so.
No, but also, you should download the sleep app or sleep something where you can record yourself when you're sleeping.
Yeah?
Really good. Because I used to hang out a lot with my friend in Sweden, Julia. We were like when we were in school, and I was always putting on the app because she was talking like crazy during the night, so we could go back and literally listen to the moments that when she was speaking.
To be completely,
you should do that. I would love to hear that. To be completely
honest with you, I sometimes talk Serbian, I sometimes talk English, and sometimes what people have told me, I obviously don't know.
It's like no language.
It's gibberish.
Amazing.
Because you're sleeping, so the words don't properly come out of your mouth. So it's like...
You have to download the app, girl.
Yeah, I'm really curious, actually. Yeah. But I don't always sleep talk. It's in certain situations.
Oh.
He's licking my coffee cup.
Yeah. I think we should wrap up the episode, but before we do that, we should say quote.
I actually, since we're going to do quote of the week, I would love to talk. I made some notes of certain stuff that was said during the conference that I really liked.
Yeah.
So I want to point out one lady, Georgina Kyriakoudis, she pointed out how men are better at selling than women. We are more reserved and we sell ourselves and our work really differently. So it really resonated with me. And it's something I briefly mentioned today. We really do. And this goes to connect back to the fact that we're so different. The way we're going to put ourselves forward is so different. We're more reserved. We tend to overthink more. We tend to process differently. So that really stuck with me. Eri Pavlaki, who was the lady on stage when the drama happened. Yeah. She talked about how women should not be angry at men. We just want equality. It's not us versus them. We just want equal rights. And she had many incredible points to make, but it really struck a chord with me. She said, women should not be angry with men. We shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
So
that was really good.
Raluca Ioanna Mann said, learn to listen, not just hear. Which is also something we touched upon.
I think that goes for every single one, not just women and men. Yeah. Like it goes for everyone.
Monica Ioannidou said, toughen up. She's not a natural empath. Yeah. So she was like, guys, honestly, this generation is too sensitive. You guys need to toughen up. Like tough situations happen. And I always say this. I always say that we've become too sensitive. Like we can't be sensitive and triggered by everything someone else says or every situation that happens around us. You need to toughen up like Simba.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There you go. Yeah, toughen up. And the last one, I left the best for last that struck a chord with me, which was Christina Aristidou when she said, you are enough simply because you exist.
Yeah.
That really
That one
gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, that was also the first quote I wrote down in my notes also
Me
when I was
too.
listening to it. It was really good.
It's just, it's really struck a chord.
Yeah, man.
And we are enough. Just by
We
simply
are.
being us, we are incredible. All of us as humans.
No matter what profession we do, no matter where we're living, no matter what we are just enough. You know, we're valuable because we exist.
So that's my quote of the week. You are enough simply because you exist.
I think that's mine too.
Did you write down anything else?
As a quote, no, I mean, I think you said the quote. Like I did find the quote that she said, and it was, you are valuable because you exist, not because of what you do or what you have done, but simply because you are. And it's Max Lucado who said it. So I think that's a nice quote, honestly. It really like stuck with me. It's like, yeah, that's good. And now recommendation of the week. I think for my part, at least, I think I would say the Vineyard that we went to.
Yeah, the Vineyard, 100%.
In
10 out of 10.
In Neoyi, in Omodos. Inoyi.
Yeah.
Fuck, I butchered the name again. In Omodos.
Yeah, and I would definitely, if you have like a free weekend, I would recommend staying in the cottages, like properly embracing the village life. It's incredible.
It's calmness.
And visit the monastery. It's not a monastery anymore, but it used to be a monastery. Visit Omodos. It's a beautiful village. The vineyards are stunning. So 10 out of 10 recommend.
10 out of 10. And we're done with this episode. So,
wow. Whoa. Another one.
I'm going to go back to Mallorca now. So,
whoa.
And then we'll see each other next week. I mean, virtually here on the podcast.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and seeing us.
And you can find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And we'll see you again next week.
Yeah, we will. Bye-bye.
Bye.